Hey there. You're listening to the Get Out of That Guy podcast with Steve Rode and Damon Day. We are improvising this, sitting in a car, eating lunch. So please forgive us for the high production quality that we don't have. Say hello, Damon.
Hey, everybody. I got my tater tots here and a breakfast burrito at Sonic.
Today we're going to be talking about, I don't even know where this is recording, but it is recording. So today we're going to be talking about just some general stuff. We have a recent article on the website about the E-shaped economy. I thought that was really interesting this week. And Damon, has there been anything that struck your fancy this week while you've been on the road?
No, not really. I'm here, obviously, in North Carolina with Steve. My son's got a baseball tournament, so we've got about 45 minutes until that starts. And Steve goes, let's turn on the iPhone and do a podcast. So if you've been following us for a while and you're used to the normal high-quality production value that this show is known for worldwide,
You'll be disappointed.
Please tune out now, because this is two guys in a Tesla talking on an iPhone
Eating lunch.
and we don't even know what we're going to be talking about. We do, however, have the fancy Tesla browser up, which is snappy, I must say, very snappy and quick. And we've got the getoutofdebt.org website up, so we can go through some of our articles and talk about them. And the first one Steve pulled up was what he's calling the E-shaped economy.
Yeah.
Why 52% of Americans are falling behind while everything looks fine.
Is that the smallest French fry you've ever seen?
Well, maybe didn't order the large.
Even the crinkle cut fries are small.
They left this burrito in the microwave way too long. It's hot.
Yeah.
You know, when the tortilla's piping hot, it was microwaved.
It was new.
They didn't pull this off the stove.
Well, the E-shaped economy, this post that I wrote, is all about how there are all sorts of conflicting signs in the economy right now. You've got what people think the economy looks great. People are out spending and shopping and eating. And yet, just
He crinkles his bag.
I can't help it. The statistics can't tell a completely different story. So the economy looks great until you read the headlines. So you've got consumer sentiment. I thought this was really interesting. People's optimism about the economy is at not a 1-year low, not a 6-year low, a 15-year low.
Your article says it's the lowest in 74 years.
Which includes 15.
But wouldn't it be at a 74-year low?
Well, I didn't want to say the sky was falling. People are just generally not optimistic.
Steve, that's not only older than me, that's older than you. What the hell was 74 years ago? 1950?
What, hot sauce for your burrito?
No. Eating should not be painful.
Oh, okay. Yeah, people are not feeling happy about the way the economy is going. But here's
why who the hell are these other 52% feeling happy about how the economy's going?
Well,
At 48.
no. 52% of the people, 10% of the people are doing okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the high
then,
income. Yeah.
Of course.
So 52%,
They're just waiting for the buying opportunities to start rolling in.
well, 52% are just now treading water. They're the former middle class.
Oh, there is no more middle class.
No. So you've got the top tier of people, which is about 10%, and you got the middle tier, which is now treading water. And this is the most interesting tier because it's really hard to let go of the image that you had put out there before, where you lived, what you drove, what you did. And so people are putting more and more of those expenses on credit cards, and so they're sinking. And I thought this was a really interesting statistic that for the top earners in the economy, their income, their wages have grown 5.6% year over year. But for people below that top 10%, their wages are flat, barely 2% growth. And below that, 1% growth, they're not even keeping up with inflation.
Yeah. I think I saw something that came out today. Inflation this month was at 3.8.
And it's projected to continue through the end of the year.
Yeah. And I know what I'm about to say, people are going to say, thank you, Captain Obvious. But when we're just talking about, the middle class disappearing, you got two choices. You either just, fall out of the middle class at the bottom, or you get ahead of it, you get out of the middle class. And I know this is going to sound weird, but Steve, the first step to staying in the middle class or, riding this wave is to get the hell out of debt.
Yep.
So you have some extra cash flow. So when there are some buying opportunities in the economy, you can get that money working for you, get it invested, get some assets, because unless you get a really, really high paying job, you're not going to earn your way out of the middle, out of
No.
the middle income bracket. You have to get on the wave, and to catch the wave, you have to have the assets that are rising, that are allowing the upper income earners to stay up there, right? Because that's money growing for you while you're sleeping. And you can't, it's hard to get into assets and investments when all of your extra cash is going to debt servicing.
Right. Got to get out of that.
So you free up the cash from the debt servicing and redirect that into building your future rather than the bank's future.
So people say, well, the stock market keeps hitting all-time highs. The economy is doing well. People in power are telling us, consumer sentiment is all-time high. The economy is really doing well. Look at the stock market. But here's the fact that you don't hear about. The wealthiest 10% of people, the wealthiest, own 93% of the stocks.
That's what I was just saying. You got to get into the asset class. So great, the economy's going up. Well, if you don't have any extra money for the stock market.
Yeah. So the rich are getting richer.
If you don't have any extra money to be in the stock market, with the exception of maybe your 401k or something like that, where you got 40 grand in there or whatever, you're not riding the wave if you don't have the money in there. You're giving all of your money to service debt. So you get to a point where the downside of a perceived downside of a bankruptcy or a settlement or not paying your debt or whatever, the downside of not getting out of debt is far greater than the downside of missing a couple of payments or filing for bankruptcy. That's what you have to kind of wrap your head around.
I'm wrapping my mouth around this burger.
So I will finish that thought with and I talk to people about this every day. The idea of, filing a bankruptcy is risky because of this, or settling the debt and missing payments, settling debt is risky because of this. Continuing to make those payments is a far greater threat and risk to you and your family than missing a payment and taking a hit to your credit score. Now, again, every situation is different. There could be some exceptions to that. But right now, with the way this economy is, you can either get out in front of it or fall behind with it. It's up to you.
So Bank of America's data actually showed that 52% of middle class, the middle earners there, their spending growth was just 1% annually. It's not really growing that much because what they're doing is they're still spending, but increasingly they're spending at cheaper places like Dollar General, Sam's Club, Walmart, Costco. And it's interesting now that those stores are actually gearing their marketing towards what was previously not their target market. So they're actually looking at higher income people to draw them in.
Well, they're looking at the former middle class.
Right, yeah.
That would not, I ain't shopping at Dollar General. And now they're only making $150,000 a year going, we need to shop at Dollar General.
Right. And so one of the ways that people are making up the gap is by putting groceries on credit cards.
100%.
Total credit card debt just hit $1.28 trillion. That's a record high. And roughly 60% of people are not listening to us because they're carrying a balance month to month at an average APR of 21%. So the good news is there's opportunity for you to weather this storm and to be proactive rather than reactive.
Do you remember? I mean, I was younger, but it wasn't that long ago when the national debt hit $1 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was freaking out. How is the government going to, pay this $1 trillion?
Mm-hmm.
Now we got consumers more than $1 trillion on credit card debt. Whereas before, when people were freaking out, it was the entire country. Everything was $1 trillion. Now it's just consumers. We're like at 40 trillion or something.
I know. We are.
It's monopoly money at this point. I mean, that's a whole different show, but
I just heard a proposal where the federal government is talking about suspending federal sales tax on gasoline and diesel fuel and how that will lower the price.
Not much.
Well, about 15 cents for gas and about
Unless you're in California.
20 cents for diesel.
If you're in California, lower at $5.
But the question is, if we eliminate the federal gas tax, then how does the stuff the gas tax pays for get paid?
Gas tax doesn't pay for any of it.
Oh, is that it?
They just print the money, man. No, that was a ruse, like every other tax, to get you to vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like fools, we vote for it. My rule for the last 2 decades has been, you want to have the voting things, and it's like they have both sides will explain this is what it's for, and a yes vote means this, and a no vote means this. And I just go through and look for, does it cost anything? No. Does it cost anything? No. Does it cost anything? No. Simple rule when you're voting. Oh, it costs money? No. Oh, it's paid for. Bullshit. No.
Will it save me money? Because that's a lie.
No. No. Everything that's ever been proposed is always over budget and coming overpriced and 5 times as much as they said it would cost. So just vote no on you fuckers in Congress and wherever, local, federal. Stop doing shit. Just don't do anything. Just save the country a lot of money. Just sit there and look pretty. Shut up. Do your insider trading and leave us alone.
Go home. So here's some numbers that will surprise people. Middle income real hourly wages rose only about $1.75 an hour in the last 5 years. That's like almost no growth. On a 2,000-hour work year, that's $1,300, but it's being eroded by inflation. You're making less while working more. Gas is up almost 19%.
You put more than $1,300 on just gas alone, much less everything else.
Yeah. So that little gap doesn't make any difference, really.
No, it's just anecdote. At the end of the day, it's just what movie is that from? I think it's Shawshank. Get busy living or get busy dying.
That's true.
That's where we're at right now. Either you get out in front of this and you figure out, get yourself out of debt and be busting your ass to make as much extra money as you have, or as you can, but not extra money. Just keep servicing debt. Get out of the debt. Go make as much cash as you can. Get into some asset classes. I don't care if it's just get an Acorns account and got to start somewhere. Get into the market.
Stock market's doing great.
I know, but only for the people that are in the market. And you go, how can I invest? I have too much debt. No shit.
Yeah, and then you have people whose 401ks are in the stock market, and they're borrowing from them. Not only are they paying a little bit of interest to pay themselves back, but they're losing how much the market is going up in the meantime.
They are. But if you can't file bankruptcy, sometimes that's a necessary evil to borrow from it to get out of the debt if you can't just wipe it out in the 7th. And if you don't pull the money out, you have to drag out paying it out over years.
The key is, if you're going to borrow, don't go back in debt. That's really hard for people to say to their friends. I can't afford to do that anymore. We can't afford to go out.
Is this still recording?
Yes.
Oh, that looked like it's.
You know how you can tell?
I do not. That's why I asked you. Oh, now I can tell.
13 minutes. It takes guts to say to your friends, I'm sorry, we can't do that.
Yeah, and it's hard too, because if you don't want to tell them the truth, right? You don't want to say we can't afford it, but I know you kind of need to, but you don't want to. But the problem with this is, after saying no and coming up with different excuses so many times, your friends they stop asking because they think, well, maybe he just doesn't want to hang out with me. So that's that fine line between knowing it's something you need to cut back on, but not wanting to lose friendships and relationships over it because they're just thinking, oh, they don't want to hang out with me, versus if they knew the truth, well, you wouldn't lose the relationship unless they're like, oh, well, they're beneath us now. They can't come to the club.
But one of the things that you can say is, I can't go out, but you can come over.
That is true.
You do more things at home rather than. I can't even imagine how much it costs to go to a bar these days.
I told you we went to Texas Roadhouse last week for Emily's birthday, right?
Yeah, but that's not going out.
That's not a bar. It's $200 effing dollars. And it was just my family. We didn't like invite the extended family, just the two of the kids and Kathy. Hunter was home, but we got him something to go, right?
Mhm.
So it's just the five of us, the normal family. No alcohol. We don't really drink alcohol anyway.
Yeah.
Thought that we're a Pope. I don't really like it, but especially at restaurants, because screw that. So it was just like, soda, iced tea or whatever, and we just got a meal.
Yeah.
And it was with the tip, it was $200. And Texas Roadhouse ain't exactly fine dining.
No, and it was full.
Now you go to Ruth Chris and you're looking at $400.
And I bet the Roadhouse was packed, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely packed.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But what'd you say, 2.8 trillion or 1.8 trillion in credit cards? Where are we at now?
We're at a lot of money.
Yeah, that's why the restaurant. If credit cards went away tomorrow, like they were just gone,
yeah,
the economy would just tank.
Oh, it tanked. Yeah.
There would be nobody anywhere.
Yeah.
If you could only do what you had in your checking account,
yeah,
boom, nobody's buying shit.
Yeah, because the economy runs on consumption. So
yeah, nobody's on airplanes, nobody's in restaurants, nobody's at the stores. Amazon would be like, where the hell did everybody go?
Well, I think the funny thing is that
my Amazon driver would be out of business.
I mean, we're sitting here at a cheap burger place rather than going to someplace more expensive.
And that was $20. And I didn't even get a burger. I got a breakfast freaking burrito.
Well, my burger was good.
It was $20 for us, which is actually not bad. Unless you were, me 10 years ago, and I would have been like, $20 at Sonic? What the hell? What you get, a steak burrito?
So, if you're feeling a little bit of pressure, a little bit of financial pressure.
A little bit.
Yeah. One of the things that you can do is you don't have to worry about that. Damon and I have heard it all. And if you need to talk to somebody about it, talk it through, you can always reach Damon when he's not eating a burrito at damonday, DAMONDAY.com. And you can read all of the posts, get on the newsletter, get your weekday email by visiting my site, getoutofdebt.org. And I will keep you posted on the latest things moving forward.
Oh, wow, this one.
Yeah, record Memorial Day travel despite high gas prices.
I still can't get over how snappy this browser is in this new
In the Tesla?
Juniper update Tesla compared to my. Everything's better when it's newer. I need to give my 2020 to my son and get me a Juniper 2026.
I mean, the lease on this thing wasn't bad.
I can't lease.
You put too many miles, yeah.
I put too many miles a day on this to be able to lease it. And one day I'll be like, oh, over miles. No, but here's what, I'm not going to go buy a 2026 now.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to wait about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Start, drive the paid off one as long as possible. My son doesn't need it full time yet, right?
Right.
And save money. And then in 2 years, this car, instead of being, what would you, is like, they're in the 50s somewhere in there, I think, right now.
I don't know.
Okay. In 2 years, when this is not the brand new one, I'll be able to pick one of these up. Somebody like Steve will get it that had a lease.
Yep.
Barely freaking drove it. Has all the bells and whistles on it. And I'll be able to get one of these with like 15 to 20,000 miles on it in 2 years. Might even still smell pretty new. And I'll only be paying 30 for it.
Well, mine smells now like breakfast burrito.
Steve's smelled like pleather until we got some burritos. But yeah, you don't have to go buy a brand new one. You just gotta have a little patience. Wait 2 years. And you'll save $20,000. And that's $20,000 you can put into the market, not into a car. As much as I love the Tesla, it's still a depreciating, I don't even call it an asset. It's a depreciating thing. I don't know, such a depreciating asset. But is it?
The hardest thing right now for people, they hear what you're saying.
You can hear Jimmy.
They hear the words coming out of your mouth. But it's really hard for people to abandon their debt right now and do what they need to do, because for a lot of people that feels wrong on so many levels, right? Well, if you're, I doubt you can call in a Dave Ramsey right now and speak to any one of those minions, and they're going to tell you, you need to ditch your debt. You need to file bankruptcy now and start saving. That's not something they'll tell you.
That's not their shtick.
Right.
They have to keep to their shtick.
Right.
Some keep to their script, some keep to their shtick.
Yeah. I saw one of those clips the other day. I think it was on YouTube, where the person who was sitting in for Dave, she heard the situation and her response was, "I got nothing for you."
What was the situation? No.
It was somebody who was in debt. I mean, had expensive car payments and stuff.
Okay.
And she was like, "Well, you won't get rid of the cars. I don't know what to tell you."
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I have a job. Take a bus. It's like, well, my job's like 25 miles away. Find a closer job. Oh, okay, shit. Or my favorite is their go-to is always sell the house.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's think it through.
Yeah.
They
Now I'm going to rent.
They think level one, like sell the house, free up 2,500. Okay, and get a tent. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, life just doesn't. It's not that digital. I mean, life is complicated.
Yeah, and then it's saying you could get into a rental, and there are sometimes it does make sense. Hey, you overbought. You need to sell the house. You need to get out of that, and you could do this and rebuild and da da da. So there are times. I'm not saying never sell your house, but it shouldn't be your go fucking to.
Right.
Like, oh, you got a cash flow issue? Sell the house.
Yeah.
Like, wait, really?
Sell everything and eat beans and rice for the next 5 years, and be a slave to your debt and avoid saving money for the future. And that's a good plan. No, it's not a good plan.
Yeah, I mean, so what if they rarely ask them what state they live in, right?
Right.
So you might be in a situation where the equity in the house is completely protected.
Right.
In a bankruptcy, depending on how much equity you have and what state you live in, and sell your house. Make sure that all that equity is now not protected, and then just pay off all the debt. And now you're, even if you can get into a rental, now you're at the whim of the landlord, or at least if you're in a mortgage, you know what it's going to be. You know what's coming,
right? For
the most part, unless you live in Florida and have an HOA, insurance.
But think about all the people that we have both known over the years who couldn't sell their house and live anywhere near.
Exactly. That happens a lot, where the rents are higher than maybe they bought the house 6 or 7 years ago, got a good rate on it.
Right.
And anything, even anywhere near comparable for their kids and their family and the same general area is as much, if not more, than the mortgage. So how does that make sense? And then where are you going to get the money to move, Dave?
So here's
U-Hauls aren't free.
Well, here's the other thing that drives me crazy is, people say you need to spend 30% on housing and whatever on food. Life doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If you want to stay there in your house and you have all sorts of good reasons, and that's a decision that you want to make, then stay. You're just going to have to find the adjustment someplace else, and that's okay.
Or at least be presented with the options.
Yeah.
That's what kind of bugs me. It's Dave's way. I call him Wendy's, right? It's Dave's way. It's got to be Dave's way. Like, Dave only has one way, and it's his way, and you're a freaking moron if you don't do it. You got to put your big boy pants on, sell the house.
Yeah.
Be a freaking moron. Yeah.
There's 1,000 ways to solve that problem. And if you're sitting there right now and you're stressed, you're panicked, God, I had a refresher on what that feels like in the last day, because my automatic repricer software that I wrote for Amazon, shipped the bed. And so all the repricing went off. And so I went from having sales every day to no sales. And I hate that panic feeling.
Like, what happened to my sales?
Yeah, I hate that panic feeling when you know something's wrong, and it's so hard to fix it because you're so panicked because it's broken.
Yeah.
You can't think clearly.
And all that's going through your mind is how many minutes are going by. I'm not making sales. I'm not making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with like when you're in debt and you're just like, oh, now I got this bill. Now I got, freaking wrecking ball. Jeez.
Well, that's why I got up at 4:00 in the morning and fixed the software. But there were a lot of times when I got up at 4:00 in the morning and worried about my debt in 1990.
Oh, I'm just telling her.
I'm recording the podcast.
Yeah, like, I should at the game. I'm tracking you on Find My Friend.
Well, if you were at home, we were recording the podcast. It would be. Tell her we're ending the podcast. We're heading back to the field. It's just around the corner.
Yeah, that's what I told her. How's that? Oh, so we talked about the record high gas prices, but I mean, it goes into everything that we're saying. This article is talking about, despite the record freaking high gas prices, that, what does it say? We spent more traveling Americans spent more traveling.
23% of summer travelers plan to carry more credit card balances they can't pay off.
Yeah, it's just kind of what we're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't afford the vacation, but we put on a credit card.
Yeah.
And that will work up to a certain point, and then your credit goes away, or they start lowering your limits, or you max it out. And it's better if you call me first, and we can kind of plan out the landing, right?
Yep.
I can still help you if you've already nailed the landing hard, and you're up against it because you're out of savings and you're out of credit. That's the crisis mode when you call me for sure, because we cannot operate. You cannot operate without credit available or savings available. You cannot do it month to month. Right. So if you're at that point, you need to call me immediately when you fix the cash flow. If you're not at that point, but you can see yourself Thelma and Louising it to that cliff, give me a call a little sooner. It would help out. If we had like a 4 or 5 month ramp to that cliff, we can make some different decisions before it's like, oh shit.
All right. You can reach Damon at Damonday, DAMONDAY.com. Damon, I want to end on my highlight of the week.
Yeah.
On my Ring camera, I get alerts and it says, what's going on, person walking in the driveway or something like that. My favorite of this week was we're now using clotheslines on the back porch to dry clothes. Why run the dryer? It's sunny and warm out, right?
Yeah.
And so I got a Ring notice that said, a bear is walking on your deck. And I looked at the camera, and it was just the shadow from the shirt hanging there. Swing and a miss.
How big is your shirt, Steve?
That's another podcast. All right, Damon, until next time, I will see you.
Peace.